Well, good morning and Happy New Year to you all. Welcome to American Reversion, the first day of 2024, and a year that I think is going to be unlike any other I've experienced in my 70 years. This is going to be a year to experience, to watch, to hopefully try to have an effect on, because what we do this year is going to, or what people don't do, is going to have an effect on a determining effect on what happens with our country. Before I get started, by the way, I've had a lot of people that contact me and say, Steve, I wish you'd put more stuff up on American Reversion Channel, and I've kind of been waiting for today to do it. This is the year, and I will try to get a lot up here on this channel. I'd like to get something up every day from now on through this whole year. We'll see how that goes. I'll do my best. But if I could ask you to do a couple of things, if I could ask you to make sure that you're subscribed, so that, and hit the bell. Make sure that you get notifications of every time I put up a video. Give it a thumbs up if you would. Leave a comment. Even if it's nothing more than, leave as long a comment as you'd like, but even if it's nothing more than a thumbs up or something like that, it does affect the algorithm. I know that YouTube has been suppressing my channels forever. Well, not forever, but since I put them up. They don't like what I say. I understand that. So far, they haven't shut me down, so, I'll take it, but it's up to us to try to grow this thing, right? And share this. Please share this. This is the year that we try to do something. So, 1964, Ronald Reagan made a speech in support of Barry Goldwater's presidential campaign. Barry Goldwater being one of the foundational stones of modern conservatism. Some might argue that William F. Buckley was another. I won't argue against that. The two of them were giants in that. And Reagan speech was entitled A Time for Choosing. It's a great speech. It's become a classic. You can find it on YouTube, but I will post it on the Patreon channel. That link is down below if you'd like to come over and join us over there. I'll probably be putting up a lot more over there this year than I have in the past. So I'll post that over there so those of you who are with us over there can access it easily. And he explained in his speech, A Time for Choosing, the importance of the political choices that people were making and the importance of them understanding the differences between the different positions and acting on those. This year, 2024, I think will be a time of choosing both individually and collectively of where our country is going to go, whether we're going to be able to take this country back or whether we're going to be able to effect an American reversion, or whether this country is simply going to continue its slide at a faster rate than ever before into the oblivion of whatever it will become. And we can only imagine what that can be when we look at what's happened in the last 20 years with a couple of blips of turns. It's amazing, is it not? Those of you who are, as old as I, or almost as old as I, and you reflect on what the country was like, what America was like, and for those of you watching in Australia or Canada or Europe, I don't know what your country was like at that time, but I would imagine that it somewhat reflects what ours was. That what's happened to our country, when we look at those times, it seems like a different world. When we look at what it was like when we were growing up. And we ask ourselves, how in the world did it get this way? Well, it got this way as a result of many, many small steps, or the result of hard political efforts by the other side. I just made one on the Integrative Preparedness channel that kind of addressed this idea of, and I talked about a sign that I had seen, and actually my brother-in-law at dinner last night had taken a picture. He'd seen the sign too and took a picture of it. And it says, end the corrupt government, or end the corrupt federal government, or something, I forget what it is, something like, you get the gist. End the corrupt federal government. Well, that was good. Somebody put up a sign. But as I talked about over there, what good did it do? What happened? What happened as a result of that? People saw it, and they shared it with their family or their friends. Guess what I saw? I saw a sign. And the people probably say, well, that's right, that's exactly right, that's exactly right, we agree with that. So what is the result of that? And as a result of that is essentially nothing. That we've shared these things with people who we know agree with us, and we're shouting into the echo chamber, feeling good about hearing back from someone else that they feel the same way we do. That does nothing. That's a dog chasing its own tail. It does nothing to fight against what has happened to our country. We know there are a lot of people, it's the reason that I started this channel, that don't want to talk about politics. Or they have this idea that, well, politics is all crooked. I won't dispute that. Politics is useless. I will dispute that, because it has worked for the other sides. I don't involve myself in politics because, and just list them. It doesn't matter. My vote doesn't matter. They're selected, not elected. The blah 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 blah, and all these excuses are latched on to by people who really want to explain in advance why they're not going to do a damn thing about it. They're not going to get up off their butts and go be a part of the political process. They're not going to stand up and try to fight in the fight that is the proper fight at this time. We got a lot of people thumping their chests and it's time to rise up, and you know what they mean by that, right? No, it is time to rise up. It's past time to rise up. But the way to rise up has been politically. Politics do work. Politics is the mechanism through which we affect public policy, social change, things like this. And it's simply a matter of influencing people. It's the collective effort or the individual efforts, and then coming together into collective efforts of influencing the way others think, whether it's other voters or whether it's those who are searching for those votes. Okay. Remember that the thing that an incumbent wants more than anything else in the world, almost more than the next breath of life, is to be reelected, because they've got themselves in a cushy little position within a corrupt system that's going to ensure they'll come out somebody that couldn't get approved for a car loan. They'll come out a millionaire after a few terms, right? And so often the people who run against them, who have run for the right reasons, they don't have the political clout, they don't have the money, they don't have the backings, they don't have the public support that the incumbents do. And when there is someone who is running, there's an old saying, let me interject this, that no one who will do what it takes to be elected deserves to be elected. Boy, there's a lot of truth in that, isn't there? And what we want to do is try to get the right people in office, which means to have the proper influence. How do we do that? And let me ask you this. What will you do this year? What are you willing to do? I had this discussion with my brother-in-law last night, and I said, we see a sign, but everybody who has seen that sign, have they done anything except vote to try to influence the direction of our country, to try to take it back? And most haven't. They might have gone to a political meeting, in which really nothing gets done. If you've been to a political meeting of any of the major parties, it's just the old guard that are there, and it's a bunch of internal politicking, right, as much as external politicking, and they guard their own power base. That's not how you deal with most institutional problems. The idea of staying within an institution and trying to save or change it from within, that's pretty optimistic. Very often you have to go outside it, build something of your own, and then challenge the status quo. So I ask, how many people have tried to form a group of friends into a political group? Such as, hey, let's all come over to my house for a barbecue and a couple of beers and talk about the fact that we know we agree on what's wrong with our country. We agree pretty much on what the solutions should be. Let's come together so that our collective voice is louder than our voices individually, and see if we can't start having effects on local elections. That's the way to do it. How many people have done that? Not very many, right? Is it possible for you to do that? And then to pay attention and ask the group, let's start really paying attention. We can get together periodically. It doesn't have to be every month if you don't want to. We can for every month if you all want to get together. Yeah, just kind of relax and talk about what's been going on. But let's pay attention to what's going on with our politics locally, and let's see if we can start having an effect on that. And as we form a group, then we're able, when we talk to other people that it seems like they agree with the way we feel, we're able to say, hey, I belong to this group. Why don't you come join us next time? And those people know other people who feel the same way. Can you do that? Would you do that? Would you be willing to do that? You see, that's what it's going to take to turn this country around, if it can be turned around. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm forming a group, just like I've described, will you join it? Will you be willing to join it? Will you be willing to show up every month or every other month and kind of give it the support? Or will you not? Will you give it the big old A? Oh, yeah, that was a good idea. I'm sorry, I'm busy. I can't really be there. I can't commit. Yeah, it was a great idea. Good luck to you. You see, that's where most Americans are. The other side is winning because they are better at politics than we are. And if we don't want this country to slide to the point to where the only option to political resistance is something that we don't want, well, we have to get involved at this point. This year, there's only one person that I think has a chance, a snowball's chance, to try to fix some of the things. It won't be able to fix all of them in one term. That's Trump. I'm not being coy here. It's Donald Trump. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump. A lot of people, and that's the problem on our side. On the other side, they are solid. They are solid. You know why? Because they're solid in their hatred of the American way of life and of us. We aren't. We're fragmented. We find one thing we don't like about somebody, and all of a sudden they're the devil incarnate. Okay, I don't like Trump because what? Because he's divorced 2 times. Because he didn't like bump stocks. Because he whatever. Okay, that's why this country is in a mess. There's no perfect person out there. You know, William F. Buckley says that the conservative vote should be for the most conservative who can win. And we have all these people out there thinking, well, I like Vivek, or I like this, or I like that. They don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. I said that long ago. I said that when everybody was just falling in love with Ron DeSantis. I says he doesn't have a chance. He's shooting himself in the foot. He made his move too soon. Maybe in 8 years he might have had a shot. But he stood up against the man who had gotten him in the governorship. And that was a mistake. I've watched a few minutes of these debates, so-called debates on the Republican side, and I'll tell you what, if you need any more proof that none of them measures up to be president, I don't know what it is. Most of them couldn't be the president of the high school student council, let alone running a country. Trump is the only one that has a chance to turn it around. He needs everybody's support from the get-go, and he needs unapologetic support. You know, there are a lot of people out there who secretly understand the truth of things, but they won't raise their heads and make their positions known because they're afraid of the ridicule. But if you will get out there and express, if there's a group that you've formed or joined or whatever, and you can give support to these people, they will come on board. That's the way we fight this year. So, again, I just wanted to start this year out with this message. I'm going to attempt to put a lot of videos out this year because this is the year for our choosing. And things are happening every day. I want to put out enough so that you all can share it with other people. If that's the extent of your involvement, excuse me, I didn't mean to hit you like that. I was reaching for something. If that's the extent of your involvement in the fight, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing this, and you've done something. You've gotten the word to other people. Maybe they will share it as well. But this is the year. If we don't win the government back this year, I don't think there will be another chance until things are so bad. It almost is plain to everyone. And folks, we don't want to go through times that bad. Right? Okay. Hey, Happy New Year again. Please remember to make sure you're subscribed. Comment, give us a thumbs up, and share this with as many people as you can think of that would be appropriate to do so. This is going to be an interesting year. This is going to be a year like I don't think we've ever seen. And it needs all of us to be involved in it. Remember, as I always say, America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. So do your part, and we'll see what we can do this year, okay? Happy New Year. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.